Hola, 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 mi gente. It's your girl, Miriam Simon. I am going to get right into it today because we are talking Bad Bunny. I mean, who isn't talking Bad Bunny at this point? By now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, because maybe you're not Latino or maybe you haven't been keeping up with pop culture, or what's going on in this world, this is a cultural milestone powered by identity integration. He is the image, the person that is exactly living out what I am talking about. Number one, he's human first. And number two, the identity integration piece that I talk about all the time. He's not one person here, one person there. No, he doesn't hide who he is. He doesn't assimilate to meet the moment. He is just him. Now, let me ask you a question. What does Bad Bunny represent to you? Is it language? Is it pride, rebellion, possibility? Like, what does he mean to you? Let me tell you what he means to me. What he means to me is he is a representation of what can happen when you dedicate yourself to something that you know is true within you. When you keep being who you are and not worry about what other people say. Now, let me tell you, that doesn't mean that he doesn't think about it. Of course, he does. He's human. But at the same time, he's being himself and feels empowered to be himself. He has this ability to connect to people, be different, and be okay with that. And I feel like almost everything that he does is a message, is a way of demonstrating that this is exactly what we need and this is exactly what we're looking for. And who doesn't want to feel represented? Who doesn't want to feel seen? And Bad Bunny isn't just having a great year. Like, this is a cultural shift in a world that pressures Latinos to translate ourselves, to be accepted. He's doing the opposite. He's expanding the world's capacity to understand us, right? So when people say Latinos are this, Latinos are that, all the negative things that they say about us and all the stereotypes that they say about us, right? People like him are the people that are saying and showing to all of us and everybody, yeah, that's what you thought we were, but this is who we are. And this is what we represent. And he's only one person, but because he is so true to himself, he's carrying the rest of the culture, the rest of the Latinos. Like, I'm Mexican. Probably a lot of people think I'm Puerto Rican because I have such an admiration and I have been following him and reggaeton music for a very long time, since I was about, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. It's because we're Latino. Like, I am Mexican. I was born in Mexico, but was raised here in the United States. My kids are Puerto Rican. My wife is Puerto Rican. I am in it. Like, I am in it. Where I grew up, there was a bunch of Puerto Ricans, more Puerto Ricans than Mexicans where I grew up. I've been around them forever, and we are a part of the Latino culture. What I love about this is that this wasn't always the case. This was not always the case. Okay. When I grew up, people had very bad things to say about Puerto Ricans, and people were not nice to them. And people were not, if you think they were bad to immigrants, they were also bad to Puerto Ricans because they think that they're not from here. They think that they are not American, but they are. Even though they have their island, they are part of the United States. And what was crazy to me is the fact that, like, how even within the Latino community before, when I grew up, in my experience, everybody was segregated, even the Latinos. So, like, Mexicans hung out with Mexicans, Puerto Ricans hung out with Puerto Ricans, Black people with Black people. The Polish people, that I grew up around Polish people, they were hanging out together. And so nobody really meshed and nobody really listened to anybody else's music. And now me seeing how far the Latino community has come is immensely unreal, because I've lived two extremes. I've lived the extreme of not wanting to hang out with other people that are not from your own country, in your own place, and you're listening to your own music, right? Like you would never go to a quinceañera and hear a reggaeton playing at a Mexican party. Like you would never hear a merengue or a bachata in a Mexican party. It would be strictly Mexican cumbia, quebradita, ranchera, things like that. But now when I go to a party, it's everything. It's a little bit of everything. American hip hop. Please, you would never play hip hop at a Mexican party. Are you kidding me? We would never listen to any of that. We would listen to it because let me tell you, I listen to everything. But at the Mexican party or at the party itself, we would not. So I think that seeing it now, like I watch Bad Bunny on TikTok and I'm seeing him in Mexico, in Colombia, in all the different places that he went. You see him and how the people have admiration even today, right? Outside of our Latino community. I just saw this morning that he became #1 in China. And what the heck? So see, like it's all about the meaning. It's all about who you are. It's all about what you represent. This is what makes people magnetic. This is what makes you become connected to people, to the world. And the reason why he can is because we have all this technology. We have so many different platforms where now you can reach other people. Back in the day, I was listening to a documentary, and what were they doing? They were passing out CDs on the bus to get their music out. Like that was the beginnings of reggaeton. They were putting out their music by making mass production of CDs, probably recording them themselves and like copying them. Oh my God. Remember those hitting the record on the tape recorder? But they did it with CDs. They were passing those out and distributing them. That's why Cardi B went viral when she went on the train and was passing out her album that just came out, and she was doing that because that's the way they actually did do it. But now you have social media, you can make it and do these things nowadays, right? Selling them on the street like she did. That's exactly what they used to do back in the day. And so now she does it, right? But then now it's reaching millions and millions of people and all over the world. So if you have a beat and you like it and you hear it and it resonates with you, you don't even need to know the words anymore. It's just the beat, the vibe, what's happening. This is what I talk about all the time. If there is no good vibe in the room, I'm out. I am out. No, I will do a vibe check. Doesn't matter where the heck I'm at. If it's an executive room, if it's a meeting, like the vibe and who is in the room is very important. Now, some of them I can't just walk out of them like that, but you understand and your setting, and then you know how to respond to what you're doing. So, I mean, this historic win is historic visibility. He is being chosen. Bad Bunny winning album of the year for Debí Tirar Más Fotos is history. It's being reported as the first Spanish language album to win that prize. That's not a trophy, that's a door moving. And let's talk about this moment where he takes whatever people were saying, it was 12 seconds for him. He's sitting on the chair. They announce he's the album of the year winner. I'm getting the chills just thinking about it because I'm putting myself in his shoes. So he's announced as the person. He knows it's a historic moment because he is the first one to win in all Spanish. And so then he has a moment where he's in his emotions, right? I'm getting in my emotions. I'm a highly emotional person too. And he gets into his emotions, and he takes those 10, 12 seconds, closes his eyes, has his hand to his eyes, and just takes it in for a hot second because it's such a moment. It's a history in the making moment. He understands and knows how big this is. Let's talk about that moment for a second before I move on. When you know you've accomplished something so big that you thought was impossible, how does that fucking feel? How does that feel? That feels like you feel it in your entire being to work your ass off. And people don't know the crying, the hurt, the work, the no's, the way people judge you, the way people dismiss you. I'm telling you because I've lived it. And then you have everybody judging you, especially when you come from humble beginnings, especially when you come from humble beginnings. Because people would tell me, this guy is going to take you out the gutter. When you come from the hood, or you come from humble beginnings, or you come from nothing, which let me tell you something. At the end of the day, all of us are born with nothing. Okay? Maybe what our parents have has more. Some of you are born into families that have a lot of money, but in the reality, we ourselves come into this world with nothing. We are people, and that is all you really need forever. And when you are from that, and people, I mean, like, you don't know, or maybe you do know because you've come up like we have, but when you come from a place like that, like where people are judging you and people think you're nothing and people think you're never amount to anything, and you had to start from zero, and then now you're at this moment that is history in the making. The entire world is watching, and the entire world is going to see this, and you are changing. You have become a breakthrough moment for Spanish speaking. Even speaking Spanish was, no, you can't speak Spanish here. You know how many times I was told at work when I talk to my coworkers or the people that are in the buildings, and I would start talking to them in Spanish because, yeah, I speak Spanish fluently just as well as I speak English. And they would tell me, don't do that here. Like, you can't speak Spanish here. Why are you speaking Spanish? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Are you done? Can you get out of my way? Can you like go and keep going? Because I'm not talking to you, nor am I talking about you. So you can get on with your business, right? And I was like, ew, so rude. And now to see that there is respect being put on the Spanish speaking people, respect on people who are human first, are kind, are doing the right things, are speaking up, are standing up, and you have this whole community come, right? Don't think that he didn't feel embraced by the moment. He is embracing that moment right then and there in those 12 seconds. And then what do? When you know it's like when you, and I love the memes that are out there because there's so many different ones of them. And I was thinking for myself when I was coming home on the train, and I was thinking like, damn, what would be that moment for me? And it's like when you get the job over like a million other people, when you are the person chosen to run X, Y, and Z, when you are the, project manager, and you are the only, you are living that moment. You have been that moment. Or when you are on the mic and you're a podcaster, when you are the speaker and nobody else looks like you, when you are the first to do anything. And we have so many firsts in so many different ways. He is the first. He is the first person to win. So he is opening the door for everybody else after. Now I'm thinking that means that Karol G can win next. That means that now a woman can go too, because of course, what has historically happened, and I'm not just saying it, men usually win first and then the women can follow. So this is really an opportunity, and him living it in the real moment and living it, and we are able to see it, is just amazing. Then now he wins, and then what does he do? He says, all right, now we gotta go, right? Because he gets right up, he starts clapping. That's probably his power move, if you haven't noticed yet. Every single time he gets up and he starts clapping, right? Because he's changing his state. If you're into Tony Robbins and things like that, like, that you have to be in a specific state to be in the energy and be in the moment and know what you need to do, right? Because if he was in another state when he was with his hands in his eyes, he was in one state. Then he had to snap out of it because it's happening live. He needs to get up, change his state. What does he do? He snaps out of it, he gets up, and then he starts clapping and he walks up. Now you have to be poised. What you say is important. So how you choose your words is important. And these are the things that we need to think about when we are out here representing our people, when we are out here doing our thing, not only for ourselves, but for everybody else that we're doing it for. And why is it important? Because we need to meet the moment at this time, right? We need to meet the moment. We're seeing what's happening out in the world. We're seeing what is going on. Everybody is just sick and tired of it because now it's reached every single demographic. Now, here in the United States, nobody is safe because it's reached everybody. So now this is where you begin to say, okay, now what is it that I have to say? What is it that I'm going to do? And how can I represent? Because that is huge, heavy as hell to carry. That is heavy as hell to carry. But at the same time, you know, when you are the chosen one, you know you're going to say the right thing. You know you're going to do the right thing. Because when it comes from the heart and it comes from being a kind, good person, nobody can F with that. The crazy part about this is like 10 years ago, because everybody's doing that 10-year challenge. Like Tony Robbins says, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they could do in 10. So now, what was he doing 10 years ago? He was working at a supermarket, right? You've probably seen the meme. If you haven't, look him up. While making music, and he was bagging groceries, stocking shelves. He ended up going into music, right? He was uploading his music to SoundCloud. That's what I hear. I don't even know what the heck that is. A lot of us are building. You're building in the beginning. You're like, okay, I need a job to do this, to do that, right? To pay my bills. For him, it's just like he's a young kid, and he has to figure out what his independence is going to be. And then you start thinking, okay, this is something I want to do. You listen to the calling, right? And you say, okay, this is what I'm really into music. And then you start doing it and you start building. And it takes a long time to build. He didn't just do this today. This was a long time coming. So this is where you have to understand that if you take that step, if you take that risk, and yeah, in the beginning, you're working a lot. And sometimes you're working all the time. Like, I think about it too for myself. I'm like, damn, am I working too much? Am I doing too much? Right now, I'm recording this podcast right before I go to my job, right before I get ready and go commute an hour and a half and go to work. So I need to incorporate time to, one, get myself ready, to understand what I'm doing, when I'm prep for the podcast, record it, then edit the recording, and then put it out there. And all before I get to my 9 to 5. But this is how important this is to me, that I love it. I want to, and I don't want to miss a week. I have been consistent. That is part of what keeps you relevant. And you have to be able to meet the moment, and you have to also want to, I don't think you have to. I get to. Like, that's the beauty of what I do, is I get to do this. I get to get up in the morning. I get to record my podcast. I get to go to my job. And I love it. And let's get back to what he doesn't do, right? There's no code switching. It's not just about hustle. It's about identity. He's not code switching. Puerto Rico stays centered. He didn't dilute the language. Remember, he went viral. If you haven't seen it, look for it. When he was outside, I think, an award show, red carpet, and they asked him something in English. And he was like, ay, yo no entiendo nada de lo que dijo esta persona. Like, I don't know anything about what the heck they just said. And that moment went viral. Yeah, sometimes this is how we feel when we are in a new environment. And right, this is what people think is imposter syndrome. When you go into a new environment, he's Spanish speaking in the English world. And sometimes we get invited into new rooms because we got a new job, or we got invited to a new thing or a new home, right? You go into it, you have no idea what the heck you're walking into. And everybody has their own language or has their own ways of speaking. Even for me, like sometimes for me, I speak English, but I don't know what the hell they're talking about because culturally they live different than I live. So I'm like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what the heck that is. That's how you feel. That's not imposter syndrome. The fact is that you're walking into a room that has standards, has cultures, has their own way of doing things, their own language, right? Even at the jobs, like in working in engineering is going to be very different than working in business, there's different terminology that's used. That's normal that you're not going to know that. It's going to feel odd. Your feelings are yours, but what you want to say to yourself is, this is new. It's not that I don't belong here. It's just new to me. And this is what authenticity looks like. It's okay for you to be who you are. Like me, I walk in 9 out of 10 times, I'm the only person that has everything that I have. I'm cool with that, right? People are podcasting out here. People are not writing books. They want to, but they don't do it. When you're the person who's actually doing it, you're seen a little bit different, and that's okay. But I'm going to walk in as me. Now, I wasn't doing that all my life, but now I am. Even Spotify has him as the global artist. This is what happens, is that you end up becoming this person, and you end up becoming this person that attracts. And if you meet the moment every single time and you keep going and you keep elevating yourself, and this is what I love about it, is the fact that he was so true to himself that he created an experience in Puerto Rico to demonstrate and show people what it's like to be over there, what it's like to experience what he has experienced, what he is, why he's so proud, why he loves it. And so many people have gone, me included, to the residency that he had. And then on top of that, even when they live streamed it, I watched it. Now, where are we headed to, right? We're calling it Bad Bunny Week this week because now he's headlining the Super Bowl. And let me tell you, my prediction is that because he was dancing with everybody, and what I would do, what I'm thinking about, how I see this happening is he's not only going to be dancing with every single person that has a role, right? Because that's what they showed. But I think it's an opportunity for him to expand, because even where he went on his tour, he went to different countries of Latinos. I think that he may do that too, but not in a way that you do like the multicultural sessions in school. Like, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be in a way that gives it real respect and a real view of who we are. Not that overly American way that they do it here sometimes in the US, where you're just like, that's fucking performative. Like, no, we don't do it that way. But I think that's what he's going to do. So I have a feeling like he may have like a Dominican come up, Mexican artist come up, a Colombian definitely for sure. And the other piece is obviously he's going to show Puerto Rico, because he is Puerto Rico. He is Puerto Rican. And this is just so important. And it's such an amazing moment to see for myself. I think about my mother-in-law, who is no longer here with us. And she's such a proud Puerto Rican. And she was so freaking nice. She was the kindest person I have ever met in my entire life. And her anniversary just passed this week. And just thinking about her, and how she would have been so in love with Bad Bunny and with what's happening at the moment. Like, it would have been such a proud moment for her to be able to experience this. So it is definitely a gift for us that are alive to be able to see this moment and live this moment with him and with all of you. Okay, because I always think about those people that have gone and left. If you didn't know, at 17, I lost one of my best friends. He got shot. Instead of me, he pushed me out of the way and I survived. So I am very, very, very cognizant of the life and opportunity that we currently have. So this is why it's important to ensure that we all live in the moment and do and be here and recognize and see it and take the time to take it in, just like he did. They're like, oh, hurry up, go and get your award. Like, you only have 2 to 3 minutes or whatever the heck they give him. Already that you have a little bit of time, but him just taking that moment he needed to just be in the moment, like, that is freaking phenomenal that he did that live for us to see, where you can take a moment for yourself before you respond, before you go, before you show, before you do. I love that. I love that. I love that. And one of the last things that I want to talk about are some of the lyrics that I love in his music. And the reason why I bring this up in this episode is because that is what has kept me as a fan of a lot of different people, but especially him. And these are the types of things that I say to myself all the time, because I am that different. I am that different. So we all are, because everybody's unique. But it is rare that I find something in common with other people because of how different I am sometimes. And so walking alone feels hard sometimes and feels lonely. And I find a lot of solace. I find a lot of comfort in the music that I listen to. And every time I write, every time I prep, every time I get in the mood, every time I am doing something big or feeling even sad or feeling something, like, the way that I get myself back up is through music and the lyrics, the way that I grew up listening to music with my grandparents. So these are a few of the lyrics that I love. Yo visto así, no me voy a cambiar. Right? I dress like this, I'm not going to change. That's like, like, stop asking me to dress in a certain way. Stop asking me to be somebody that I'm not. Now, he could totally do that, right? Because he's a celebrity and he chooses what he wants to wear. Si no te gusta, no tienes que mirar, right? So that means, like, mind your business. If you don't like it, you don't have to pay attention to it. You don't even need to pay attention to me. Meaning, I put on whatever I want. Like, you have choice in doing these things. Yo hago lo que me da la gana, right? That means, like, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't do. I love that one because it's true. Like, as an adult, you have choice. And yeah, a lot of us tend to pay attention a lot to what other people want and what other people expect from us. And we're always asking for permission. And yo hago lo que me da la gana gives you permission to do what you want to do what you need to do. So all of these lyrics are super important. And I love every single one of them because they give you the individuality. They let you be authentic. They let you be that undivided person that you are. And that's what I love about Bad Bunny, is he is authentically him. He doesn't allow where he comes from to put him down. He actually uses it as leverage for what he does. That's what makes him different. That's what makes him have the upper hand, because he is from Puerto Rico, because he does speak Spanish, because he does have a kind heart, because he is emotional. And so these are all the great things that we all need to think about. What makes us special? What makes us unique? And what makes us feel and do and be? And also, yes, there's going to be judgment. Look at how much scrutiny he's receiving for having this platform of the Super Bowl and having a global reach, and what is happening there and how he is responding to it, and all the different opening of doors that is happening at the moment. And that's today's episode. I am excited and happy about where we are and how we are approaching the Super Bowl week. What is going on in this world is a little crazy, and especially here in the US, but we are getting through every single day, and there is more for us to do, more work for us to do, of course. So that's today's episode. If you like this episode, please share, please subscribe, listen to the podcast. We record and broadcast every single week. You can find me at miriamsimon.online, or you can find me on IG and YouTube at I am Miriam Simon. Thank you all for tuning in. I have two very special upcoming events. I have the Latinas in Podcasting, Love Your Voice event that's happening on February 13th. Sign up, that one is free. Then I also have a Rising Boldly retreat that I'll be speaking at, and that is February 21st, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And that is a way for me to help you find your undivided journey and get to becoming unstoppable. And the last thing I want to mention is I am obsessed with amplifying women's voices, amplifying Latino voices, Latina voices, Latinx voices. So, if you're interested in publishing a book, a memoir, a business book, professional development, have some expertise that you were like, you know what, maybe I should write a book about this. So, you know what, I know a lot about this. And especially, you know a lot about your life. If you're looking for a way to do that, hit me up, info@miriamsimon.online, and I will get your book published. That's Latina Mic Drop for you. I'm Miriam Simon. Talk to you soon and have a great one. Yay to Bad Bunny Week. Bye.